Brie Larson has confirmed that she's wearing a Chantel t-shirt bra in her viral crop top shot in the Marvels trailer. Wait a second. That's not what we're talking about today. Guys, we're talking Super Mario Bros. If you've paid attention at all to the box office, you know that Mario not only is the #1 video game based movie of all time as far as grossing goes, it is also the #1 grossing movie of 2023. This movie has awoken the inner child, has spoken to many different generations of people who played and enjoyed Mario video games, and this incredible beginning to what I already know is going to be the Mario Cinematic Universe has put us in a very, very good position. So in today's video, for those of you interested, for those of you transitioning outside of only talking about the MCU or DC movies, we're going to dive into what we could see in the future for the Mario Cinematic Universe, the MCU, if you will. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk all things major movie and television news. I'm your host, Chris, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing. Turn on that notification bell. You can check out my other socials, Instagram at Chris M. Rosser and Twitter at TheCultureChris. Links to both of those can be found in the description down below. And no, I don't honestly think it's going to be called the Mario Cinematic Universe, the MCU. I think it will probably be referred to in the future as the Nintendo Cinematic Universe, and then eventually we might get an official name if they decide to go down this route. Keep in mind this video is circumstantial. This isn't anything we have confirmed. It's a lot of fan theories, and it's putting together an idea of what could be the Super Smash Bros. Storyline for the big movie, for the big screen, and that's something I think a lot of us should be and will be excited about. A, the prospect, and B, the fact that we have a real opportunity to make that happen. So, Super Mario Bros. Has released. Where are we heading moving forward? Well, obviously we have our Mario characters. We could get a Donkey Kong series or spin-off. We could get movies, TV shows, even video games. So there are a lot of open opportunities here for what could fit into this cinematic universe. So keep that in mind. Nothing has to be a movie or a TV series. There are video game options. There are a lot of different directions that I think Nintendo can go with this, if this is what they want to be interested in. So you've got Yoshi, you've got Donkey Kong, you can go into some more of the story about the Toads. There are a lot of directions just in the Mario universe alone that they could head. One in particular that I'm thinking about would be Luigi and Luigi's Mansion. It's something that was teased, it's something that we can anticipate, and I think that that would be a lot of fun. But what outside of Mario, leading into the Super Smash Bros., essentially the secret war of Nintendo characters, could we possibly be seeing in the near future? Let's dive into that list. Probably #1 on the list, everybody's thinking it, The Legend of Zelda. Now, it could be live action, it could be animation. I'm very curious to see kind of how the MCU is planning on doing this, since we've been teased that on the Sony Spider-Verse side of things, Beyond the Universe, which is the name of the sequel to the Part 1 Across the Universe, which is the second movie after Into the Spider-Verse. Beyond the Spider-Verse is supposedly going to be bringing characters from that animated world into the MCU. That's what the latest rumors are telling us. There's no confirmation there, but that would bring animated characters into a live-action world. So with this happening, we're looking at the possibility of live-action movies mixing with animated movies and creating an awesome opportunity. But you can let me know in the comment section down below, would you rather it just all be animated, all be movies, or would you like to see some video games, some live action, some animation, some TV series, all mixed in together to then be identified as one thing moving forward, which hopefully if we were to do some type of Smash Bros scenario would just be one animated series. Anyway, The Legend of Zelda, probably the most iconic franchise in Nintendo outside of Super Mario Bros. The games follow Link, who I'm sure you're all familiar with. Link is not Zelda. Zelda is the princess. If you don't know that, learn it. It might become important news for you one day. However, The Legend of Zelda would be a movie that would have the legs to continue on and create something as exciting and generate that kind of audience that Super Mario Bros. And any subsequent sequels for Super Mario Bros. Has managed to do. That's 100% in our mind. As far as the Mario movies go, we've heard that there could be development for Yoshi's Story, which we saw in that post-credit scene. Yoshi would be a character in this likely sequel, so maybe we could get a Yoshi's Story spin-off. There's also the Donkey Kong Country, another potential Super Mario Bros. Movie spin-off, could be focused on Donkey Kong, and we could see the continuation of this character continuing on. And then we already talked about Luigi's Mansion, but I want to continue on outside of Mario. Metroid. This is another very popular, well-known game from Nintendo. It's a sci-fi series based on a bounty hunter named Samus, and in many different adventures and video games, she goes on to become very, very well known as an awesome female action hero, which, given the time we're in, this is something we're seeing frequently. Now, the idea of this character isn't anything new. Samus has been around for a very, very long time. So we're not really changing anything. This is just a character who has always been a strong woman. And I think the fan base from Nintendo and from Mario would really enjoy seeing her story told on the big screen. And this could eventually connect in with Mario, with Zelda, Link. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about Sonic at the very, very end because, yeah, technically he's Sega and not Nintendo. So there could be some issues with them mingling. But to continue onward. Star Fox, popular sci-fi franchise in Nintendo. We're going to talk about this because in the Mario movie, there was a model spaceship that Mario has in his room, and it is used in the Star Fox games. We're already seeing, just like in the Sonic movie, and just like in the MCU, those Easter eggs. They're being left around. 100% this was a little shout out, a little nudge to Star Fox from the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which I hope is them hinting at potential projects they'll be moving on down the line, and making all those connections and having all those Easter eggs. That's a really, really smart way to start gaining that traction and getting people talking about it. We can also talk about Pikmin. And the reason we bring this one up is because in the Super Mario Bros. Movie, Pikmin was given an Easter egg. It was seen in the form of a statue, and this also makes it a potential candidate for an animated series. In fact, back in 2014, there was already rumors and even some draws-ups of an animated series for Pikmin. Now, this originally came out in 2001, and the original real-time game is a strategy involving a pilot, Captain Olimar. So, this would be, again, another candidate for moving forward, much like with any Nintendo project, but we're feeling like because of its inclusion, its little Easter egg, much like with Star Fox in the Mario movie, these are little hints and nods pushing us towards their next animated shorts, animated series, or movies that they'll be coming out with within the Nintendo universe. This next one gets an honorable mention for me. I don't know how I feel as far as the connection and the overall history, but Animal Crossing is a series or movie that has been rumored and we've been hearing about the potential of. Way back during 2020, COVID, Nintendo Switches were flying off the shelf, everybody stuck at home, and conveniently, Animal Crossing New Horizons was released. And for a few months there, maybe 6 to 8 months, that game was heavily spoken about. People were streaming it on Twitch. It was pretty much all anybody wanted to play for a little bit there during COVID. Now, because of that current popularity, that relativity, and the ability for people to relate to it, this could make a candidate to fit into the Nintendo universe. And even in the new Smash Bros. Video game, Animal Crossing has a few characters that are featured as playable options for you to battle with against your friends. So I'm going to give them an honorable mention because given that recent excitement and publicity that it's had, I do feel like that could be a qualifying option just because there's already a fan base there ready for maybe a little bit of lore behind Animal Crossing. Now the big one, the last one that I really want to speak on, Super Smash Bros. If a potential Nintendo Cinematic Universe wants to come and follow the pattern of the MCU, of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, a Avengers-like similar team-up film would be Super Smash Bros. Now, if you're familiar with the video game at all, this is all of these different titles and franchises coming together for a story mode that does exist, where a lot of good guys team up against a lot of bad guys to do what normal Nintendo characters do. But then there's also the multiplayer mode, which is also very well known, where people go in and beat the crap out of their friends. We all have that one friend that is just a little too good at the game and makes it really, really difficult to play and enjoy because everybody's just mad the whole time. Yeah, you're probably familiar with this. They could turn this into a cinematic event. They could turn this into the pinnacle, the peak, the ending of maybe phase 1 or the entire story of the Nintendo Cinematic Universe, the NCU. I would love to see this happen. I would love to see Sonic and other Sega characters also involved in this. You could have Kirby thrown in there. You can have old school video game characters from Nintendo, and any character that would be able to collaborate under this title, under this ceiling of Nintendo, really be in there, and it would just be so much fun. And yeah, I think with the success we've seen from Mario, we're definitely going to have people discussing this. People in higher places than me, people who aren't just talking about it in a YouTube video, but in conference rooms with CEOs and the team that just created the very successful Mario movie. Now keep in mind, on Rotten Tomatoes, it didn't do so well. It was very, very low, maybe in the 40s prior to release, but then it pushed out a 98% audience score its opening weekend. So fans were excited. We did see about a 40% drop off at the box office for the Mario's release this second week, but it has still made top movie for 2023, top grossing video game movie of all time, and I think that really just shows miles of opportunity and potential moving forward. But there are a lot of characters that could be included in the NCU. I don't think they're really in a rush to start dropping 5 or 6 movies a year, which I'm completely fine with. That's kind of a problem over at Marvel right now, is they're oversaturating their own space. So I'd be fine seeing a movie every year and a half, as we slowly build into better animation and maybe a really awesome storyline. So I hope they take their time and look at this as a serious possible contender in the future against maybe some of these superhero movies. But let me know your thoughts and what titles you would like to see. Which characters would you like to see brought into the NCU, the Nintendo Cinematic Universe? Thank you guys so much for watching till the very end of the video. If you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell. And I'll be sure to catch all of you guys in the next one right here on Cosmic Culture.